G'day viewers, how are you? You've made it to the weekend. That's no small feat. This has been a terrible week. You might almost say it's been totally fucked up. Oh, wow, if only I had some theme music for that. Totally fucked up! Ah, well, what? It's like nothing's been good about this week. These continued stories about sexual abuse, people being outed for being sexual abusers, whether it's against adults, whether it's against underage people, it's sort of centered largely on the entertainment world. And, of course, the big one that's been going on for weeks was Harvey Weinstein, who still isn't admitting any wrongdoing as far as I know. But then Kevin Spacey was outed for, well, first sexually assaulting a 14-year-old some years ago. And then it's come out that he was fucking awful to everyone all the time and is a serial abuser. And that one shocked me. I mean, if you pay attention at all to Hollywood gossip, you would know Harvey Weinstein's an awful person, a bully, a thug, and a sexual harasser, and exploited his power in the studio system to coerce women to having sex with him. And we've heard all the gross stories about what he would do if they were at all reticent about it. But Kevin Spacey, I hadn't even heard rumours of. That was a horrible show. I was a Kevin Spacey fan. It was fucking awful to find out how bad he is. And, of course, it's not limited to Hollywood or the entertainment industry generally. Anyone who says it is either a fucking moron or they have an agenda. It's been completely bizarre, continues to be bizarre to see conservatives trying to score points, particularly American Trump supporters. You remember Trump and the pussy grabbing, where he was caught openly bragging about being a multiple offender for sexual harassment. And there's a whole line of women lining up to say, yes, he sexually harassed or raped me. And that is, exactly the same information. In fact, far more damning, because we have him not confessing, but boasting of sexually harassing women. And we have a whole bunch of women who say, yeah, this is true. And yet, somehow that's not a thing. Like, absolutely, come down on Harvey Weinstein like a ton of bricks. Come down on Kevin Spacey. Come down on everyone. And here's, as the week progressed, it got worse. There's a lot of names that you won't recognise unless you're a real sort of obsessive about Hollywood gossip. It's people who are like producers and on the studio side of things. But my favourite comedian of all time, Louis C.K., has been confirmed as a serial sexual harasser. Now, this is one that's not a big surprise if you pay any attention, because this is one of those gross, open, secret things. That's one of the worst things. And while there's a lot of shit going on, you could sort of try and be hopeful and like, wow, this whole casting couch idea, an idea that's existed since at least the 1930s, that ugly studio heads could coerce wannabe starlets or young men into fucking them because they had all the power and they were never punished for abusing that power. Maybe people are finally getting punished for shit they just got away with forever, stuff they were doing in the open, or in some cases in secret. But the fact that so many of these cases were open secrets, and that's the weird thing. When the article came out with people saying, okay, the rumours about Louis C.K. are true. He definitely does this thing where he whips his dick out in front of women, masturbates in front of women. This has been the gossip for ages, but finally some names were put to it. And I was relieved. While, like I said, he's like my favourite comedian of all time, I was relieved. Finally, people put their names to it. It can be dealt with because it's obviously true. Now, if I had made this video a couple of days ago, when the article first came out, and I said, well, thank fuck, it's out in the open, it can be dealt with, there would be a bunch of worthless fuckboys going, oh, it's just rumours. You can't talk on just rumours. But, because I'm making it now, which is a day after Louis C.K. came out and said, the stories are completely true, anyone who's still defending him is really the worst kind of shit imaginable. And there's a lot of them who are still defending him or trying to gloss over it or trying to brush it under the carpet, still, it's completely unacceptable. And this may or may not have ended his career. He's certainly been cut off from a lot of TV production companies at the moment. He is a live performer, works independently largely, and after a bit of time, he might start performing again. I don't know. I mean, seriously, he's abused his position so fucking badly, he deserves to pay the price. He deserves to, cease to profit from the fact that he has all his power because he fucking abused it. And it's not even the worst one. About a day after Louis C.K. confirmed, someone's come forward with a story about being sexually assaulted by George Takei, Mr. Sulu. Again, this was in the past, I think, somewhere in 20 to 30 years ago. But the story, and this guy has apparently shared it with people over the years, so he's not just invented it now. His story goes that George Takei basically drugged his ring. He doesn't, he didn't get tested or anything, but, he loses consciousness and wakes up to George Takei grabbing him. Now, when this one came out, George Takei was apparently travelling, according to a studio, so there's no official statement yet, but this is also not the type of story people tend to make up. Much loved figure like George Takei has a lot of power, saying he did this awful thing, historically far more damaging to the accuser than the accused. Despite the bullshit that MRA say about, don't say that about them, you'll ruin his career on a rumour. Look around. It doesn't ruin people's careers. Whether it's, Roman Polanski, Woody Allen, Mel Gibson, or an extremely long list of people who are known to have committed particular offences, it didn't hurt their careers, okay? Now suddenly, it seems to be affecting people, which is way fucking past due. I have to admit, there's a bit of me that goes, man, this is always like when I watch one of those cold case cop shows on TV, where they bust a murderer from 20 years ago. Fuck, that person must have thought it was over, that they'd gotten away with it and it was done. And to finally get busted. So someone who indulged in this power abuse that was the way things are done, thought they were always going to be getting away with it, getting off scot-free. Fucking sucks to be those pieces of shit right now, doesn't it? I mean, fuck, this whole thing is so awful. And the Louis C.K. thing is very interesting to see, because he made a written statement, and now some people really support his written statement. They say, look, on the plus side, he just straight up said it was true. He never attempted to deny it. He did no victim blaming. He said what he did was wrong. Now, on the negative side, he never actually really says he's sorry. He says, ooh, bad things were done by me. But the bit that bothers me, the bit that makes this whole thing stink, is it really feels like a case of, I'm sorry, I got caught. On top of everything else, on top of denying it for years, on top of harassing people who wanted the story to be public for years, it just doesn't seem smart. How could you not see which way the wind was blowing? It was like with the Weinstein thing and then the Kevin Spacey. He knows he's guilty. And he knows people know he's guilty. And he sees other guilty parties starting to get called to account. Was he not even smart enough to go, what I should do is, before I'm forced to, go public and say, look, this system is fucked and I'm one of the fucked parts of the system. I did the wrong thing for years and denied it for years. I need to make amends. I need to fix this shit. I need to stop denying it. But no, he comes out after the truth was revealed. And while he didn't equivocate, he did just straight up say it's true, he didn't blame the victims, it just feels like, I'm so sorry I got caught. And I'm so sorry I'm now suffering financial repercussions for my actions, because I did them for so long with no punishment. I really wasn't expecting punishment now. That's the bit that stinks. And I'll say it again, he was my favourite comedian. Probably ever. Certainly my favourite working comedian. And to see someone who's your favourite be exposed to be so fucking shit is really hard to deal with. But denial does not help. That's what perpetuated this bullshit. And it also makes me sick of people pretending this is just the entertainment industry. Or realistically, even that the entertainment industry is the worst. Because if you think women don't suffer this in every workplace, you're just not talking to women, basically. And if you're a woman and you've never been sexually harassed, I feel so good for you. Because of my acquaintances, my friends, my family, my colleagues, you are in a tiny, tiny minority. And just all the stories that I've been told and that you see online of women just randomly being groped on public transport, of just as a matter of course being harassed in the workplace and having it made clear you don't get a promotion unless you put out, or you're going to lose this job unless you put out. This shit needs to stop. And while, like I said, the casting couch has been a thing in Hollywood since at least the 1930s, maybe they're really dealing with it now. But I tell you who could fucking do with dealing with it. Donald Trump and the Republicans general. Well, not all the Republicans, because there's a particularly ugly story now about a Republican running in an election, Judge Roy Moore. And look, just look him up. You know I'm not going to like him. I'm not going to bother to point out how I don't like his politics. I don't like his attitude. He does stupid shit waving guns around at campaign rallies because he's the real man. You know, he literally says homosexuality should be illegal. God help you if you're actually transgender, because you don't stand a chance. I mean, just being gay should be illegal as far as he's concerned. And he always invokes the Bible for everything. Turns out he's got a bit of a thing for underage girls, and has done since his 30s. So allegations have come out that when he was in his early 30s, this is about 30 years ago, he made sexual advances on a 14-year-old, aka statutory rape. For all the people, and there have been numerous people on the Republican side saying, oh, what are you so upset about? It was consensual. There's a little thing called the law, and it can't be consensual with a child. There's laws to protect children from predatory adults. And so, also, I'm just going to say, when you look at statistics of people who do this sort of thing, you really think he stopped? Do you think, okay, we've got multiple independent sources saying that this is a thing he did. Went after under 18 girls, as young as 14, possibly younger. You really think he stopped? Do you really? And when you see some of the defenses given for him, it'll fucking blow your mind. I mean, like, okay, I had a really low opinion of this type of person before. But when people literally start saying, what's the big problem? So he was in his 30s and she was 14. Look at the Bible. Mary was just a teenager when she married the adult carpenter Joseph, and they became the parents of Jesus. So, it's all okay. What the fuck? What in the actual fuck? I mean, I often say when these evangelicals do fuck things, or just evangelicals who support Trump, for instance, they're really lucky their bullshit isn't real, because they would be going straight to the worst part of hell if a tenth of what they profess to believe was true. But when someone says that to me is the clearest sign. They obviously don't believe the shit they say. Because what reading of the Bible could you possibly come up with that said, Jesus' parents make fucking little kids okay? What? What is wrong with someone who do this? And it should stress, there are quite a number of high-profile voices in the Republican Party. John McCain, Mitt Romney spring to mind. They're not alone. But people who are saying, no, this is bullshit. When stuff like this comes up, you don't keep running. You get the fuck out, because the voters need to not have an election tainted by something like this. And the number of people who are saying, oh, even if it was proven, I'd still vote for him because it's better than a Democrat. And by the way, his competitor is actually a lawyer who prosecuted the Ku Klux Klan for murdering kids in a church in the 60s. So this little race in Alabama, you literally have a choice between someone who prosecuted the Klan for murdering children, someone who likes to fuck children. That, I mean, how starker could the choice get? And the fact that this is even up for discussion blows my mind. What in the ever-loving fuck has happened to the world? It would have, so recently, last year, I would have said Nazis are scum and kitty fuckers are scum. Not contentious points. But this is 2017. Apparently, there's room for discussion. The President of the United States says Nazis and white supremacists include very fine people. There's the claim that people who oppose swastika-wearing Nazi lovers are as bad as the Nazi lovers. And now there's this guy endorsed by the Republican Party who, is pretty fucking clear, has a thing for underage kids. I was watching Black Mirror today and I was just going, no mate. None of this stuff is going anywhere near far enough. Black Mirror is meant to be this dark satirical take on where life might take us. And fucking life overtook Black Mirror so much in the last couple of years. It just, where the fuck are we? What the fuck is happening? And how the fuck did this world get so totally fucked up?